Hey guys, this is the second part of my video tutorial. In the first one I showed you my little example how to how my code was, without RequireJs. All the code was in one place, kind of like ugly code. So in this one, the second part, let's go ahead and try to use RequireJs to write the modular code. Okay, the very first thing we can do with the require has a method called config. This one takes the object. So I have to do some configuration so that it can load it. So it has a property called paths. Okay, the path, in the path you can specify as many paths as you have to download. So in our case, of course, we need to download the jQuery. I'm going to specify the path of jQuery. And maybe I don't know right now, just Angular, but I'm not really using Angular yet, but just we can specify those two paths here. So I'm going to go ahead, and this is the path, and I'm just going to copy paste it here. At the same time, this is for the here. The thing to note is this: we don't have to say .js because it automatically it's a load this resource as a JavaScript file as JS. Okay, once those configuration is done, let's go ahead and define. We need to remember, like, let me just to recap. Let me show you the app now. In the first part, it was taking a while to load it. Okay, this is the first part, right? We were working on with the RequireJs. So this is the part that's based on the URL. As you can see, this one is trying to use RequireJs to streamline the or make the code modular, the JavaScript code modular. And we can see all the, using this network tab, all the resources that would be loaded. So by I have, this is the original page that is loaded, and after that RequireJs, and RequireJs automatically loaded that code file, right, with that we are currently using. This is the code file here. Okay, now with this configuration we are saying, hey, we are depending on these two libraries, jQuery and Angular. Well, even though I'm not really using Angular yet, but I'll be using later. Okay, now there is if you in the RequireJs, to create a modular pattern, it defines it provides a function called define. The define takes, let me close that browser so you can see the intelligence. Define method takes 3 parameters. The name could be optional depending upon the context. Here is a name parameter, and these are the dependency. You can specify your dependency inside the array-like syntax in the square bracket, and this is the callback function. Okay, so very first thing, we need to have a data. We need to obtain the data. So remember, like in our original case, our data is right here. So what I'm trying to do here is basically trying to refactor this one, trying to create this as itself as one module, and other module will be using this. That's the whole idea. That's the refactoring I'm doing. So I'm gonna rename it as kind of like a data provider. That's what this module is. Let's say I'll give it a name, data provider. And it doesn't have any dependency, so it's empty bracket here, and then the function and callback function right here. Okay, so inside the callback function, what I'm going to do here is basically I need to here, remember, end goal is to make it a very modular code. Right now is I'm trying in the process of refactoring our original code using RequireJs. So I'm going to go here and basically copy this code, this piece of code from this. Okay, So basically this is our data provider, display country info, and then later on other module will have a dependency with this module. Okay, it's in the beginning it sounds kind of like a strange what's really going on here, but as you when you see the whole picture it kind of makes sense. So of course this is called modular pattern here. It has to, and this method is a private method, and even to make this to kind of indicate that it's a private method, we can use underscore. This is just the convention that I use. I mean, everybody has their own preferences, but coming out from the server side development, that private, that's just the convention. Anyway, and then after that I'm going to say return this empty literal object, and what I will be doing is, let's say display country info, and then just this. Okay, this is all I'll be doing. Now our data provider module is done. So the thing to know about RequireJs is, like, even if you look at the source code of the RequireJs, you can see this define method is outside of scope. So the scope should be window.define. If you look at the source code of RequireJs, right here, see, this is this variable the require and define, these two methods. By defining this outside of this self-executing function, they are their scope is a global scope. So that is just the thing I wanted to point it out. Okay, now our data provider is all done. Now of course the outside. Okay, you will see the how to use this one. Even before that, here we have our text box. Before they click something, I would like to have some sort of validation here. Let's go ahead and write that module using RequireJs, and I'm going to go ahead and name it as a guess, input validator or something, using define again, give it a name and some sort of dependency here, and the callback function. Okay, I will add all my dependency as needed. I'm going to give it a name as the input validator, and I'm going to specify my dependency. Maybe I might need a jQuery or something, and I want to get here the jQuery $. Okay, with my input validator, all this one trying to do, I will have basic validation here. So right, let's go ahead and write some code. Just like before, let's write a function here, a private function. I'm going to say is valid language, let's say a country or whatever, country code search. Okay, this is a private method, has access to just to this module. So inside this, what I'm trying to do is basic jQuery stuff. So whatever the value of the text box that user enters, I'm going to grab that value using jQuery. And of course now I need the ID of this guy, this text box here. Okay, this will give me the value whatever user types into that text box, and write some validation here. Country code value is not, if this is null or this is either null or empty string, we're gonna say it's some, it's in. We're gonna return false from here. It's just a boot. So we're just gonna say return false. It's not valid. Okay, if this is not valid, that false part, you know, the validation. Now if it is valid, then we can do some regex validation.